And hi and welcome to well, this video really. This is a new league that I take part of in Xbox. It's called, well, RPL. I've done RPL races before, but that is in the realistic division. This indeed is the Equal that they have been doing. Well, this is the first race in there too. We are in Australia, and as you can see, it's bloody wet. Indeed, qualifying is intermediate conditions, and race is scheduled to be in heavy rain conditions. We are on our first proper run. You can see we have done one lap before, and with that put us P6 with a 34.3. That's about second off that where I would like ideal want to be. RPL Spursy is on provisional pole position, but you can see we are 5/10 up on our lap into the final corner. Take it nice and easy. We have a teammate right in front of us who's also finishing up their lap. Through the final corner we gained so much time, 6/10, nearly 7/10 up as we cross the line. What's it gonna be? It's a 1:33.615 that puts us on the provisional pole position, but again that's about 3/10 minimum of where I would like to be. RPL Spursy is second, or was second, as we now cut to the end of our qualifying, not as we go for the final lap, sorry for that. At the moment we still keep provisional pole position with the Toros of Voizo, in second place, and Formula 125 in third. But here is our best qualifying lap. I'm not going to talk too much over this. You can see I'm using the racing lamp because, well, I'm a noob. And up to when we're on about assist, I have ABS and medium traction control because, well, I'm on a pad and I can't really do anything else with it. We are on and up and down on our time as we go through. It's not the best. We made a mess of our turn 2. As you maybe have seen, we're going to do the first split, and we are half a tenth up on a lap, which is, well, it's good to see. From our previous lap, I know that we made a mistake in the second sector, which you can see we suddenly gained 2/10 of a second down into second gear for this tricky right electric gain, but we're coming up to the scariest part of the track, in my opinion. If you get it right, it's joy, but this gain in here as we go purple in the second sector, we are 2.5 up on our lap. It wasn't the best of corners, that one, though. We were a bit too hesitant and ran on the exit curve, and that will spin you out if you're not careful. Into the fourth last corner we go. We are about 3/10 up on our lap, and it's looking pretty good so far. We are about to get that 33.3 that I was on about. Into the second last corner, actually take it normally. I was struggling with that corner so much. Through the final corner, we are half a second up on a lap. Lose some time in the final corner, but we're still 4/10 up. What's going to be to the line? It's a 1:33.172. Good enough for original pole. But have a look at the minimap. There's a red dot coming towards the line now. That's RPL Spursy. What he can do as he crosses the line right about now, he takes the provisional pole off us with a 1:33.0, and well, it was really gutted to lose pole position, but P2 is still good. We're on the front row, and that's the end of qualifying for us, really. We ended up P2. RPL Spursy pole position. Gap is 1/10. Massive gap behind, 5/10 of a second. To check the sector times, you can see I lost 2/10 in the second sector. We're matching first and third sector. Yeah, second sector is where I technically lost all the time. You can see that we have 12 drivers who took part in qualifying. 11 of them set lap times, and we have 12 taking part in the race. As you join us coming through the final corner on the formation lap. About to line up on the grid, and yeah, it's heavy rain. We have a naughty boy who's been disqualified from formation lap. Don't do that. Yeah, lining up on the grids. We have 2 cars at the back of the grid, and taking their dead time as I dab out, well, not dab out, I'm on Xbox from the game slightly. We're just waiting for the fire red lights, really. As well, here's my car, here's my helmet, here's my number. Sure. Don't know why I did that, but it's nearly race time. for the very wet Australian Grand Prix. We're waiting for the lights to come on anytime now. Green flag is activated. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. As behind us we have 2 cars jumping the start. It's lights out and away we go. We get a decently good stop, but the Toro Rosso behind us who jumped the start is about to ruin our plan as we try to dive down the inside of Spursy into turn 1. I did not realise that the Toro Rosso was down the inside as well, which is why it's a bit awkward in there as he kind of clipped the side of me. And that Toro Rosso really ruined my plan to dive down the inside of RPL Spursy into turn 3 we go. And we take a different line to Spursy there. That's one to avoid the rain all over our screens, and 2, well, that's just a preferred line for me. Turn 5 is such an awkward turn in the heavy rain. I have no confidence. I've done a lot of practice for dry, and I was really confident in dry, but in wet I only did like 2 or 3 laps and the pace was not there. So, and we have a virtual safety car right off the back. Some clowns at the back cannot drive. We are cut into the end of the virtual safety car, and it's really weird on this game, the virtual safety car. The delta, even you may end up in red and it still lets you off, as we have a really awful restart to this race. But the Ferrari behind us is even more like awful one, as we are in the second last corner at the end of lap 1. RPL Spurs is still leading the way, and yeah, I understood straight away he had the pace over us. He had the pace over us in the wet. In dry he was like a 10 quicker than us per lap, but in the wet, as you can see, obviously it's the first lap, he sets the fastest lap. But behind us we have a decent gap as well, and we had the pace over Formula 125. But behind him there's a certain driver, a certain Haas driver, as I tell Jeff to shut up, and he's so annoying me. Behind the Ferrari there's a certain Haas driver I was very aware of, and his name is TSR Norris, as he's now behind us straight away. Spursy 141.1, we do a 149.9, but look at Norris, 140.7, that's 1.2 quicker than we managed on the last lap, and he's already 1 and a bit seconds behind us. He's overtaking the Ferrari and he's really getting closer to us, and I knew that he's massively quicker than me, and I was actually planning, if he gets closer to me, I wanted to let him go, so maybe he could catch up to Spursy and they could slow each other down. I don't know, battle, take each other out, I don't care. Just that I could maybe benefit, because me holding him up only loses both of us time. As the gap in front is 2.6, gap behind is 1.3. Sorry for that. I don't know if my mic picked that up, but we're cutting to the end of lap 3, and you can see how close TSR Norris is to us. The gap is 0.3 of a second. He goes 1 second quicker than us on the last lap, and I was really planning to let him go. Well, he's close enough, but I mean, I don't want to make his life too easy. Into turn 3 we go, and we go slightly deep. This is a mistake from our end, and well, he was diving out inside and I just let him go. I could have turned in on him, I could have done, I don't know, anything to keep the position, but there was no point. He was quicker than us, and I was just hoping that he could maybe catch up to Spursy and they could maybe fight, battle, whatever, slow each other down, give each other damage, take each other out, I don't know, but anything to give us the advantage. Gap behind is 2.6 to Formula 125. We had the advantage over him. I can confirm we have 2 warnings when it's what's concerned about the penalties. So it's pretty easy to cut as I check the car in front. And as you are about to see, Norris, as we drop back by 1 second a lap, Norris, who makes a terrible mistake into the corner, has 3-second time penalties. So my hope it was still there, but well, he's going really slow now, but he's actually quicker than us. He's made a terrible mistake on this lap, or many terrible mistakes. He goes wide again in here. I don't know what he's doing in here. I don't know, pressure from me or whatever it is. Just, I don't know, forgot how to drive a bit. As we go to the end of lap 4, gap behind is still about 2-3 seconds. He's not really getting us, and we got all the way to lap 9. Nothing happened, but Norris has put a move on, and he's catching up to Spursy. And this is exactly what I was hoping for, if I'm completely honest with you. Gap behind has gone even bigger with the laps, as well. The Spursy and Norris were in the league of their own. I was really nowhere. because I was slower than the car in front of me, but the cars behind me were slower than me, as the gap in front is now 2.8 seconds. Let's see what's the gap behind, 4.6. And I can confirm by this time I had a 3-second time penalty myself, which wasn't ideal, but as it stands right now, it doesn't matter because the gap behind is about 5 seconds and he's losing time. You can see in front on the minimap and on the screen just about that Norris is at the back of Spursy, right at the back of Spursy indeed. And well, it's just a matter of time until he maybe could overtake him and maybe battle and go side by side, whatever. As I asked for the teammate status, who's 16 seconds behind us. He was my teammate who's Summers in this league. He was decent on the pace with me and dry, but obviously wet is unknown for everyone because no real practices for wet because we don't expect wet races. As you can see on the minimap, and you can see right in front of us, Norris is breathing at the back of the Ferrari of Spursy. And Norris, I believe, had either 3 or 6 second time penalties by now, so I was just hoping if they could hold each other up that much to the end of the race, which, well, it is 19 laps to go, but I'm hopeful as I lose the car nearly there, that maybe they could hold each other up just enough so I could benefit and maybe Spurs could pick up some penalties, as Formula has gained some time on me this lap. Well, obviously made mistakes, so not too surprised. And you can see in front of us, Norris has made a move on Spurs, and I didn't exactly see what happened there in the race, but looking back at this, he actually made a really nice overtake as he got onto the next lap, and it's time for intermediates. You can see the track is drying up a bit. We are gaining on Spursy, and we go into the pits. You can see Spursy stayed out, and I don't know why, but this is a good opportunity for us as we slow it right down onto the for the pit lane. I didn't really want to take any risk to get a 5-second time penalty. We have a nice pit stop, only just got up front of the Ferrari. Obviously Tessa Norris stays in front because he had the 3-second-ish gap in front of us as our teammate pits as well. But Spursy, interestingly enough, stayed out for not a lap, and well, I was really trying to maybe push enough to gain the time back on him, but I can tell you now, I don't think I'm going to include this, but I made a mistake into the quick left-right in turns 11 and 12. As you can see now, we have back markers. Fortunately the ghosting is on, but we made a mistake, and that means, as you're about to see, the Ferrari of Spurs right there. Well, the ghosted car really interrupted me into this braking zone, but we are closer than we've ever been to RPL Spursy besides the start of the race. And well, yeah, as the Rebel finally got out of the way, and well, Spursy is just there, but I have no confidence at all in the wet as well. The Rebel is going shopping in the turn 3 runoff. Don't know what he's looking for there, but we're there with Spursy. But again, the typical pattern that he's just quicker than us, and I don't have the confidence in the wet. Those guys are all on wheels, and then I'm just a cloak on a controller, so there's nothing really that I can do in air. And we have a safety car lap later. We have a car who like DNF'd and I think retired from the race, and we have a safety car, which I had a 3-second time penalty, so I was annoyed by that. Norris, I believe, had 6 seconds by this stage. The Ferraris had no warnings, no penalties, no warnings. So as it stands now, Ferrari are looking for 1-2 when they can keep the gap to Norris and myself. This safety car, I was really annoyed with this, and I can tell you Norris was also annoyed, because like I would have been fine. Gap, as you can see, is 5.2 to Formula. That's coming right down. Norris has pulled away from Spursy, and that gap is about to come down as we are about to restart the race. So lap 16, 13 laps to go. Norris has the job to do to win this race. I have a job to do to get P3 in this race. I've wanted this podium for so long. Well, you say so long, I've only got one podium in Xbox Leagues only. That was from RPL F2 Britain, where I got P2 in sprint race. We're not talking about this. Jeff, for some reason, is suggesting me a strategy change. In the second last corner of a safety car restart, Norris is slowing it right down and gets a solid restart actually. Fair play to him. We have a decent restart ourselves. Spursy was caught napping a bit, I feel like, as we are closing down to him. We had a better restart than Formula 125 behind us into turn 1 we go. And we are close to Spursy, but not close enough to go for a move into turn 3. I don't think. Like, we get the exit on him, and he's, to be fair to him, he's leaving a gap open, but I just decided not to go for it because I don't want to do any I don't want to take any unnecessary risk, especially when it's wet. Maybe in dry I could have gone for it, but in wet, no chance. As Norris is already pulling away, Spursy is a bit slow off the safety car. Maybe Spursy and Formula doing team motors, maybe to keep me up to get a penalty, to get a position off the penalty, but I don't know. Maybe it's just Spursy not confident at the safety car restart tire temperature as anything. So we'll just keep having a look what's about to happen. Norris is pulling away. We're all going green on our elbows because it's our first proper laps. First proper race laps with intermediate tires. I can confirm you now that we are going to stay on intermediate. It's not going to try enough as we actually take a chunk out of that corner. Gap in front now, so I made a slight mistake in the third last corner. It's 1.78 seconds really, but gap behind the Formula is 3.0 as we get another time penalty. This is our second one, and now I had 3 seconds on Formula, and at this stage I needed 3 more because he had no penalties as it stands. I have 6, but what you're about to witness, not now but a bit later on, something that's really gonna annoy me. We will have one more safety car, and that, well, Norris in front has 9 seconds of penalties. There you go, that's the retirement that we were looking for, and this was annoying. I can't really, you can't even impress enough how annoyed I was during this race that we have 3 seconds of Formula. I think we could have got another 3 on him, but there's this bloody safety car yet again. This is pretty much Norris's win gone and my P3 gone, because, well, Norris has 9 seconds. I can confirm Spursy has 1 warning, Formula behind us has 2 warnings, so maybe, just maybe, he can cut enough to get a penalty, and then maybe we can pull away of 3 seconds again. We are preparing for not a safety car restart. Norris is taking it slow once again, and I was really worried with Spursy at this stage because he was lacking on our screens, as you may as well see. At the safety car restart, Norris is doing the same thing that he did on the last safety car restart. Gets a really solid jump from, well, Spursy and myself. We go towards turn 1, and you can see we are closing to Spursy. Got behind his 8 tenths, so the Formula was gold knifing once again. Took it really cautiously into turn 1 because I didn't want to dive it again. I still, as you can see, Spursy is a bit laggy there. I still want this P3. I'm just greeted by this, well, spray of rain at the back of Spursy's car, and at this stage I was just hoping to maybe pull a gap, or I don't know, maybe for Formula to get penalties or whatever. I wanted this P3 bad. I've been holding it for the whole race, and it would be a shame to lose it on penalties as we go really wide, and now I'm trying to push as hard as I possibly can. Spurs in front is not going away too quickly, and neither is Norris, to be honest. But again, it's maybe the tire temperatures or anything. Reading after the race, I can actually confirm that Spursy has somehow injured, not injured, but hurt his knee during the braking on like a couple laps ago, so maybe that's why he's a bit struggling on the braking zones. His gap behind is not even going bigger. We ask, what's the gap behind? It's 9 tenths of a second. They're on old intermediates, as the Jeff likes to say, but have a look. What's he about to say? They have a time penalty of 3.0, which made my life a little bit happier, a little bit nicer, but still I had to pull 3 seconds on him, which at this stage I don't think it's happening. Spurs is pulling away from us. Formula is still at the back of us, and as are the rest of the train. We are 9 tenths behind Spurs, we are 6 tenths ahead of Formula. Next lap, gap in front is 1.1, gap behind is 1.1, so I had slight hope that maybe we can do something as well. The first corner and second corner really struggled with that, couldn't get it right. Next lap, we made a mistake, we got the warning, gap in front is 2 seconds, gap behind 4 tenths, and this really confirms that I just, unless Formula has penalties, there was no way that I'm getting this gap to 3 seconds. as we're on the second last lap as well. Spurs made a slight mistake in front, but I can see, but so did we. We run deep in there. And at this stage, you can see I had fuel left, I had the DRS. We go on the final lap of the race, and I was thinking, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going for it. I'm trying as we go put the ERS into high and fuel into rage, and I'm going to confirm it now. We did this the whole of the final lap. We got another warning, one more. We have 9 seconds. That is exactly the opposite of what we want. We are fighting Formula directly now. Into the third corner, we already run wide. We are under pressure. We don't want to get another technical warning, but there's no way that we're going to keep P3 as it stands. When Formula only has 3 seconds of penalty, we have 6. And yeah, this lap I was just trying to push as hard as I can. Gap is not coming down with Spurs. The gap is not going up with Formula. And I was pretty much giving up with P3 now. Cars behind Formula I know had like 6 or 9 seconds penalty. I wasn't really worried about them. Minimum we could get was like P4. You can see on the minimap Norris has pulled away from Spurs, but him having like 9 seconds penalty, Spurs having none. Don't think that Norris is going to keep the P1. I don't think that we're going to keep P3. We are nearing the end of this race. We are about to see the outcome of this race, and we go wide in here again, and well, this is pretty much all or nothing now, as I try to push as hard as I can into the second last corner. We actually take it nicely for the first time in a long while through the final corner. You can see TSR Norris wins the race on track, but more importantly, Spurs takes the win, and we cross the line in third. But if you look at closely, we stay in third. And I wasn't really sure what happened, but I can confirm that Formula, as you can see, third, we gained P3. Formula 1 to 3 got a penalty. There's a podium of a Ferrari winning, Haas in P2, and ourselves in the Mercedes P3. And yeah, Formula 1 to 5 got us another 3-second time penalty in the final few laps of the race. I don't know if he's trying to push that hard to keep up with me, or I don't know. But that saved our podium. We are P3 from obviously P2 on the grid, which wasn't ideal, but Spurs and Norris had a pace over me. I was really in the middle of nowhere, pace-wise. Norris and Spurs in front had the upper hand on me, and Formula 1 to 5 wasn't quick enough to match me. But we are about to see the final race results for the Australian Grand Prix. Spurs wins on penalties. Norris from B13 on the grid. To be fair to him, a nice, amazing job for him. But have a look at mine at Formula 1 to 5's lap time, best lap time. It's the exact same, which was really amusing to me for some reason. Don't even quite know why. But yeah, that was the race. It was rather annoying, but honestly, B3 was all I could have got there. To be completely frank. I enjoyed this one. Next race is in Bahrain. I've got no clue if I'm even going to upload this video, but if I am, let me know on Discord if you want to see more of these. I've been Rikes. Yes, my name is Rikes. Hi. And yeah,